All right, guys. So once again, we got to go out to woke wonderland, Cuckoo for Cocoa Puff World, the left coast of the United States, to talk about a multi-state retail theft crime ring that was busted in a city outside of Seattle. Now, the people involved in this crime ring seem to be all women. And in some cases, I guess you could say it's a family operation, as a mother and daughter were involved, plus some other people as well, too. And they got busted, again, in this massive operation targeting Lululemon stores, and they stole over $400,000 in high-end merchandise. Now, the reason why I'm covering this story is because the mother of one of the suspects begged the judge to lower her daughter's bail because she didn't want to see her daughter be in jail, even though her daughter committed this crime. She was a part of it. So she's in court begging the judge to lower the bail, okay? Instead of taking responsibility and accountability for the fact that you raised a thief, a criminal, and you're also a criminal as well, too. You're participating in it. Instead, again, you're begging the judge to be soft on your daughter, even though the judge already is being pretty soft on her because she set a lower bail than what was recommended by prosecutors. And again, this story, I think, has a lot of elements of all the problems in our country. Why is it that crime is out of control? Why can't we solve this problem? Is because all the parties involved, whether that be the parents that are responsible for raising kids to prevent them from becoming criminals, and if they happen to become criminals, the parties responsible for locking them up and actually punishing them for their crimes, everybody's just kind of messed up, right? Everybody is not really doing their job right, and then you end up with stories like this. So I want to talk about it, but before we get into it, we have to have a word from the sponsor of this video, Virtual Shield. Can you imagine your cell phone company leaking your social security number? Well, that's what happened to 63,000 individuals who had their private data exposed during a recent data breach. A rogue employee at a telecommunications company leaked private information like names, social security numbers, addresses, phone numbers, social security numbers, and other personal details. This is why I protect myself with today's sponsor, Virtual Shield, and I absolutely love them. Virtual Shield helps protect my private information from the prying eyes of cyber criminals, data mining companies, tech giants, rogue ISPs, and more. It takes just 2 clicks to protect myself with Virtual Shield's VPN on any of my devices, which includes anonymous browsing, a strict no-log policy, military-grade encryption, unlimited bandwidth, unlimited devices, and built-in ad blocking. Thanks again to Virtual Shield for sponsoring today's video. Be sure to sign up today by visiting virtualshield.com/BCP or simply clicking my link below in the description, because every sign-up gets 67% off and a 60-day risk-free trial.
They would literally strip the shelves of everything within a matter of seconds.
A major organized retail theft crew busted by Bellevue police, accused of stealing more than $500,000 worth of luxury apparel and activewear from Lululemon and other retailers all over Western Washington. At least 42 stores were targeted.
Tonight, a major win for retailers, law enforcement, and shoppers fed up with prolific thieves caught on camera stripping the shelves.
They stroll in like regular shoppers, then scramble out lugging bags filled and arms full of stolen goods.
These ladies would come in, they would immediately select a number of items, high-value clothing from different retailers, Lululemon, Nordstrom, Macy's, and then they would immediately exit and leave.
In court documents, Bellevue Detective Jeff Christensen detailed their crime spree, hitting Lululemon stores from Bellingham to Bellevue and from Tukwila to Tacoma, as well as stores throughout the greater Portland area, stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of activewear.
We're talking about over $500,000 worth of merchandise. And what that really translates to is increased costs for consumers.
Facts. By the way, this police officer sounds like Ron DeSantis, right? Is it just me, or does he sound like Ron DeSantis? But anyways, see, this is a part of inflation and the increases in prices that we don't talk about a lot, right? The Biden administration is low-key trying to blame businesses for increasing pricing. They're calling it greedflation, right? They're saying, well, no. It's not the Biden administration's policies and government overspending that has led to this inflation. No, it's not that. It's not that. It's not that. It's actually the corporations. They're greedy, and they're just jacking up prices arbitrarily, even though that's not how the market really works. But you do have some retailers that are having to increase prices to account for theft. Okay, when you have these people that go into these high-end stores and they steal all this merchandise, that's lost inventory. Okay, so what that means is that in order to try to make up for that lost inventory, some of these retailers may need to mark up the price of the items that they can sell in order to recover some of those lost profits. That is the reality. So when you live in one of these places, aka one of these liberal cities where your shop could be subject to massive retail theft, again, like this Lululemon, then you probably going to have to charge more because you need to try to recover those profits that are lost when you lose inventory due to theft and shoplifting. I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that is what it results in. It's not the corporations being greedy. It's the corporations trying to deal with the effects of these Democrat cities and their soft on crime policies that essentially allow these criminals to get away with these crimes and not get punished for it. So again, that is how they have to compensate. So if you want to blame somebody for the increase in prices, you always got to look back at the Democrats and their policies, whether that be from a macro perspective, the whole economy, or from a micro perspective in the local economy, where, again, they allow these criminals to, basically take over these cities and to do all this theft and to steal and to rob without consequences. That results in an increase in cost. Okay, businesses have to compensate for that in some way by hiring security, putting extra measures in place. Again, all that leads to increased prices. It's not free to do those things. If you got to spend money on security and all types of other stuff in order to protect yourself, you have to try to make that money back some way, which is going to be through an increase in prices.
Bellevue police say thieves often sell the merchandise for 30 cents on the dollar.
Oftentimes, the suspects would wear burqas or other baggy clothing that they were able to either hide the items in, bring reusable bags, even garbage bags that they would fill completely full with these items.
Sometimes doing it with regular shoppers just feet away. With every theft, loss prevention officers at Lululemon documented the video, working closely with Bellevue police to identify 3 suspects. 2 of them were arrested last year in Glendale, California. 18-year-old Reality Levins from Renton and 24-year-old Janice Downs, who along with 26-year-old Memory Yearby are accused of stealing $30,000 worth of high-end bags.
Now look at these individuals, right? When somebody asks you, why does profiling exist? Well, I can't. Just show them this picture, right? Show them this picture. I'm just saying, people get mad when they get profiled, but yet you always have to ask yourself, well, why does profiling exist? Why do stereotypes exist? Because the vast majority of the time when I'm doing these news stories, all the characters seem to look the same. I'm just saying, right? I'm just keeping it 100. All the characters look the same. So if these characters stop committing these crimes, they're regular normal people who are just trying to shop without being harassed, without being followed around by a store associate because they might be afraid that we're stealing something. Maybe that wouldn't happen. Maybe you wouldn't have to deal with that. I'm just saying, radical idea.
On Tuesday, Bellevue police arrested Downs and her mother at their home on 223rd Place in Kent. Detectives say they located clothing worn during the thefts, one of the cars used, and 3 assault-style rifles.
What is interesting to note is that the suspects are actually convicted felons, so they're prohibited from possessing firearms.
When Janice,
so convicted felons. Now, one of these women, Downs, who I believe is the daughter, from 2013 to 2018, was involved in at least 9 convictions, got 9 convictions for theft, robbery, assault. 9. Still walking around on the streets, right? Still walking around on the streets. So been a criminal her whole life. Again, this is the problem. This is the problem. Still walking around on the streets free. And they just get worse and worse and worse. They don't stop the crimes. You know, they just continue to get worse. They just continue to do things that are progressively worse than the last thing they did. Okay? That's what happens.
Also calls herself Punchy, made her first appearance in court. The prosecutor detailed multiple counts of organized retail theft.
The first one will be August 8th, 2023, at the Bellevue location for Lululemon in the amount of $4,348.
The state asking for $750,000 bail, arguing that she has multiple prior convictions and is a flight risk, pointing out she had a plane ticket to Arizona for the same day as her arrest.
This is repeated behavior. This is happening again and again. There's no reason to believe that if released, that behavior will change and she will suddenly stop committing those crimes.
Downs' defense attorney arguing that Janice has strong ties to the community.
She's here with a lot of support, so I don't think that she's going to flee, and we would ask that a more reasonable bail on these allegations be ordered. We're asking bail in $10,000.
Judge Rhonda Lawman setting her bail at $250,000, an amount challenged in a surprise appearance.
I just want to remind you of the Affordable Bail Act because she clearly doesn't have a job or anything else of that matter.
That's Janice's mom, Janice Wiley, her co-defendant, who wasn't booked after her arrest on Tuesday because of health issues. She wanted her daughter freed as well.
I understand, the seriousness of the crime, but I mean, for property crimes, $250,000, she has a child that she's the sole provider of.
Judge Lawman didn't budge. The high bail and an in-depth police investigation that clearly puts thieves on notice.
Wow. So, again, listen to that. This mother is in court asking the judge to lower the bail for her daughter who has a history of committing crimes. Again, been a criminal her whole life. She raised a criminal. And she's trying to use a child as leverage to say, well, she has a child to take care of. Well, why didn't she think about that before she committed the crime? Well, see, what the left will say is that, well, she was stealing because she had a child to take care of. She just needed to eat, right? She was hungry, right? That's the only thing she could do to feed herself and to feed her child and provide for herself instead of getting a job, right? This is what the left will say. But to me, it looked like she was eating pretty good, right? She was eating real good, okay? Living that life of crime. But again, what you have here is a judge that lowered the bail from $750,000 to $250,000, and therein lies another problem. Therein lies another problem. This woman has a history of committing crimes. Has been convicted multiple times. She's a felon. Clearly, potentially a dangerous person, a nutcase, psychopath, running around here stealing. You should be setting a maximum bail. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. A maximum bail. That's it. But no, she lowers it. Again, this is a part of the problem. It's already bad enough, again, that you got the mom in there that's participating as well, too. She's also a criminal, raising criminals, out here leveraging her grandchild in order to try to get her daughter out of jail, which, again, is ridiculous. And who knows, she might end up in jail, too. Again, this is just a silly story. It really is crazy. But this is the type of stuff that is happening in these liberal cities that are soft on crime. And this is why nothing ever changes, because all the parties involved here, maybe outside of police who are trying their best to do their jobs, again, it seems like they're screwing up. They're screwing up. But no, your daughter should not be released. She did the crime. If she had all these obligations, she should have thought about that before doing the crime. It's really that simple. It's really that simple.
This sends a message that if you come to Bellevue to steal things, we're going to track you down no matter where you live and hold you accountable.
And Bellevue police aren't done. Detectives are working on a fourth suspect. If Janice Downs does make that $250,000 bail, detectives say she's also facing charges in Snohomish, Pierce, Whatcom, and Oregon. The feds are also looking closely at this theft ring, and they may file federal charges.
Yeah, so again, she's cooked, right? She's 100% cooked. But hey, this is just a typical story. And, it is what it is. Parents not taking accountability. The judge lowering the bail, even though I don't think that she should. I mean, $250,000, this woman might be able to pay that. Who knows? I mean, they stole over $400,000, $500,000 worth of stuff. We'll see what happens with this. But regardless, I think this woman is actually cooked, right? She's committed crimes everywhere. So I think she's actually done. But regardless, again, fascinating story. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.